Hello, everybody out there. It's Chris. It's a matter of respect. I'm back again tonight for Discount Comic Book Service unboxing. These are books for the last week of April 2023. Looking forward to getting into those. But as always, I start all my videos out with reviews of the books that I read out of that I opened in my last video. So I just want to preface this by saying this has been one of the most satisfying weeks of books. Well, for April, this is definitely the most satisfying week of books I read in April. So let's start with a continuing series this week with Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, The Nameless Terror, issue number 2, of a 4-issue miniseries at Dark Horse. This is written by George Mann with art by Eduardo Melon. So this story takes place with a framing sequence, which is characters from the timeline of the original High Republic Adventures run, reminiscing about something that happened in the current run, which takes place 100 years before the current, the original run. So the original run began with Keeve Trennis being knighted on Starlight Beacon, and concluded with Starlight Beacon falling from the sky and the leveler being let loose on the space station. And so this year's run of High Republic comics at Marvel and now at Dark Horse take place 100 years before those stories. So, but as I said, the framing sequence is characters from that time period reminiscing about something that happened in this current time period. And so this definitely this is another leveler heavy miniseries. It elaborates more on the path of the open hand, and I believe this series takes place shortly after the events in the Marvel series, because they're mentioning the riots on Jeddah and how that has turned the path of the open hand fully against the Jedi in the timeline now. And so the extremists from the path of the open hand who they found on this planet in this crashed spaceship have let loose the leveler, and now these two are trapped outside, now trying to cut their way back in to the remainder of the Jedis that they arrived on the planet with, and everyone else has lost their powers due to the force eating aspect of the leveler. So you get a couple of good shots of full-on leveler in there, but I believe in the next issue of the Marvel series, number 9 of High Republic, we'll see full-on leveler action for the first time, I am hoping. And definitely probably this week's books that shipped yesterday, issue 3 is in that box, so hopefully in that issue there'll be some more full-on leveler action. Also continuing this in April is No One, issue number 2, from Kyle Higgins and Brian Buccellato with art by Jorge Borges. After now reading issue 1 and issue 2 and enjoying both and being sucked into this storyline, I am probably going to go back and listen to the Black Market Narrative podcast, which stars Patton Oswalt and Rachel Leigh Cook. So I'm definitely going to watch, hopefully they still have the first episode up, and then watch into the second episode and then flip through both issue 1 and 2. Luckily I have my second printing of number 1 sitting right here, I believe, somewhere around here, somewhere nearby. Not as nearby as I thought it was, but I'll have the third printing of number 1 coming from Economics and Comics in the near future for sure. So I'm definitely going to check out the accompanying podcast that's going with this to see how it fills in gaps, or fills in the gaps in the storyline for a more full experience, hopefully, because I'm really enjoying it as a comic book. And then we have Batman Superman World's Finest, issue 14 from Mark Waid, Dan Mora, and Tamara Bondvillain. basically the banger squad, you can call them. This is definitely the best ongoing series at DC right now. And then coming first week of May, Mark and Dan are taking on Shazam with Shazam #1, which is in my next box that shipped today. I'll probably be here in time to make a video this time next week. So we'll be opening Shazam, and then Star Wars High Republic. All those books will be opening next week. But this is definitely a great continuation. That the cliffhanger of the first part was that Bruce Wayne was the murderer of Simon Stagg, but by the end of the issue, you definitely find out who the actual culprit is, and it has to do with AI and robots. And the art is par excellence from Dan Moore and Tamara Bonvillain. Cannot miss. Everyone start reading this series if you haven't already. And then we have penultimate issues from this box. We have Dead Seas issues number 5 of 6 from IDW, from Kevin Scott and Nick Brokenshire. The shit hit the fan in the last issue. The ghosts got loose and the ship exploded and started to sink. But in here, we get more and more. The ghosts are definitely free, and they're possessing people at will and killing most of the crew, prisoners and guards alike. And then at the end of the issue, you find out that one of the ghosts is our main character, who is the daughter of the CEO of the company, who's snuck her way onto the ship. One of the ghosts is her mother. So definitely a lot of carnage taking place in this issue, and it sets up a good conclusion. And we will discuss IDW again after I do my reviews. So I'll put that aside so I remember to do so. Also, the penultimate issue of Punisher from Jason Aaron, Paul Azuceta, and Jesus Saez. Definitely the most original and, I don't call it groundbreaking, but probably the most original take on the Punisher in 10 years, in my opinion. It's definitely, we've seen like Daredevil tempted by the hand, and Wolverine possessed by the hand, Elektra possessed by the hand, but at least with the Punisher, this is first go around leading the hand, and the reasoning of bringing his wife back to him physically makes perfect sense. The past storyline drawn by Paul Azuceta, this is pretty much, you can call this Maria Castle, is a good subtitle, Punisher Maria Castle, because this is Maria's book just as much as Frank's. And in this issue, he battles the Avengers, and they battle him all the way back to the Hand Temple stronghold, where he arrives. And Maria has spent the entire time he's been gone, watching his exploits as the Punisher and all of the murders and killing he has done in the name of her and her children. And she's not pleased, to say the least. I'm looking forward to seeing how they wrap this all up here, hopefully in May. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed back or anything. And now final issues. Rogue Sun, issue number 12. This is the final issue of the second arc of Rogue Sun. This arc, he's basically spent most of it on a side mission for Hellbent, this character Hellbent, who was his father's villain back before his father's death. But that villain was this character's father, who the new Rogue Sun dropped the building on and put him in a coma. So the son has made the same demonic, what would you call it? Demonic pact with the demon, and now has the powers of Hellbent. And Dylan has to go into an alternate world to retrieve this magic feather sort of thing. And he meets another ghost. His father was a ghost in the machine of the costume of Rogue Sun in the first arc, and Dylan told him to leave at the end of that, and the father has agreed to that and has been gone. But now an even older possessor of the Rogue Sun armor is a knight from Arthur's time, and he was possibly the original Rogue Sun. So Rogue Sun is battling Hellbent at the high school prom, and the boy that he's been bullying and forcing to do his homework since the beginning of the series steps up for Rogue Sun after Rogue Sun is injured and picks up the I don't know what his sword is called. It's Rogue Sun's Sun Sword or whatever. He picks it up, but then Hellbent murders him right in front of Rogue Sun, and then Dylan's like, I'm not hacking it. Take over the armor, Knight guy. And so the Knight guy takes the armor and mops up both Hellbent and Hellbent's father. And then the Knight is like, you're gonna have to make Hellbent take off the costume and never use it again. You gotta show him that there's stakes to all this. And murders Hellbent's father right in front of him. And Hellbent's like, I'm gonna get you all, spend my whole life coming to get you. And they knock him out and put him in, there's like some jail for supervillains that was set up in the original Rogue Sun's time, that you've met all of the people who've worked there throughout the series. So he's sent there, and at the end Dylan's like, well, I failed, and this guy got killed, and the Knight's like, well, you have to understand that there's stakes to this, and you're going to lose people you love. And he's like, I didn't even love this guy. I pushed him into the lockers, and I kicked his ass, and I forced him to do my homework. That's all he ever was to me. And he was willing to put his life on the line and die for me. And then he's like, so I think I got to put the costume on and learn a bit more, you know, in his honor. And the Night Guy's like, actually, when you gave me control of the suit, that's permanent, so too bad. So that is kind of the cliffhanger to this arc. Interesting. And the finale, it's one of my favorite comics of last week, is definitely DC's War of the Undead Gods, issue number 8. This concludes the entirety of the DC zombie universe. Deceased. Definitely has a lot of stakes. Damian Wayne makes the ultimate sacrifice to take out the anti-life equation zombie. And him and Jonathan Kent get to stay together as Damian makes the ultimate sacrifice and creates a new, basically this the zombie anti-life. I can't remember what he's called. Erebus. Erebus is basically a universe unto himself, and to get there you have to be dead. So they kill themselves as they go through a doom tube, and then shock themselves back into life on the other side, and have the final stand against Erebus. And it's both Superman's, Green Lantern, Darkseid, all shooting their powers into a cut they've made into Erebus, which gives which opens big enough that they could move Warworld inside of Erebus, where Cyborg is waiting to upload the virus that will turn the anti-life equation into a life equation. And Damian says, no, actually I uploaded that virus into myself, and I put you on an autopilot to leave, so take off, Cyborg. And Cyborg's like, if you would have told us, he's like, yeah, if I would have told you that I was going to take the ultimate sacrifice, no one would let me, so that's why I had to keep it to myself. So then basically, as Damian dies, he creates a life pocket universe that it's a whole galaxy that the stars all form into a bat, and that is where the Alfred version of the Spectre has set up shop, because he feels he's there with his family. And as Damian's about to kill Erebus, Erebus is like, hey, let's make a deal here, you know? We don't have to do it with death, you know? And and Damian's like, you murdered my father, you murdered my brothers, you've hurt my friends. No, there's no deal. You're fucking dead. So it was definitely emotional, and I really enjoyed that ending. And here's going back to penultimate issues, since I wanted to show off my Mylar magic that I got from my last auction stuff I opened. I wanted to put some of my favorite covers in Mylar, which this definitely was the cover of the week last week. This is House of Slaughter, issue 14, the penultimate issue, which sets up the finale as perfectly as you possibly can. Jace catches up with Jolie at a bar that is run by the White Masks of the House of Butcher, and he's there to drink with her, reminisce with her, and ask for her help in rescuing his child that they have abducted and are putting through the monster trial at that moment. And so they have a nice big long conversation, and Jolie basically comes to the conclusion that, oh, you watched me die, and you didn't come back in and try to save me. And Jason's like, well, I thought you were dead, and blah blah blah. And she's like, well, now that you're out there in the forest, you're just showing your belly, and you're with Aaron there. I knew you guys had something for each other, and it shows Aaron's zombified corpse on here. I thought this would have more to do with Black Mask from House of Slaughter. From Book of Slaughter, who has Aaron's mask and who they showed earlier in the arc. I thought they were going to actually meet, and then Jace would discover that Aaron's dead. But no, it's just kind of a cover only on this. So basically, Jolie's like, surprise, and the lights go out, and everyone in the whole bar has the multicolored eyes of the House of Butcher. And you realize that Jace is the only one there. He's there by himself, and everyone else is working for the House of Butcher. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you said if I came here, we would talk alone, and you would help me save my son. I have to get him back to the kids." And she's like, "Oh, you have other kids out there in the forest? Well," and then she stabs him in the belly. She's like, "There's that soft belly." She's like, "And you want your little kid back? Well, too bad. He's already done the initiation, and we're gonna fully turn him, and he'll be a member of the House of Butcher." And as he's passing out, that's what she's saying to him. To be concluded. Great lead into the conclusion. And we'll finish last week's books with first issues. Only new first issue last week was World Tree, issue number 1. This is the Jenny Frison 1 and 10. Excellent. Cover's so nice. I had to do it twice. I have another one here in the Mylar Magic. I'm not sure where it's at. I thought it was right here with everything, but it is not. I thought everything was right here for me to grab while I make this video, but it's not. So, World Tree, great intro to the series. Basically, this is Fear, Phear. She is resurrecting the World Tree app, which is basically an app that once you are on it and you spend time on it and know what it is, you go on a killing spree, and you kill everybody in your immediate vicinity. And then it was created by a bunch of teenagers, I think 12, 15 years earlier. And then it shows her at the start and re-uploading the World Tree. And then our main character, who is, I believe his name is Ellison, and his brother's name is Gibson. So those are both last names of famous sci-fi writers. And the first page of this is a quote from "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream" from Hiram Ellison. So basically Gibson is the one who is first turned on the World Tree and murders everybody in his neighborhood, while Ellison is going to meet him, and Ellison finds it's all been posted on Instagram and is all freaked out, like, "Oh, my brother did all this." So he goes to the police station, where he's like, "I'm his brother, let me talk to him." And while he's in there talking to him, Fear shows up at the police station and makes short work of all the cops there, and she walks around completely buck naked. And as she walks into the police station, one of the cops is like, "Miss, I think you should cover yourself." Pretty funny. But no, so she calls all them, and then she goes into the cell with Ellison and Gibson, and Gibson's like, "Oh, you're here." She's here. And then she just touches Gibson, and Gibson turns into some kind of techno-organic monster in the cell before dissolving into nothingness. And then Fear looks to Ellison and goes, "Come and find me and be part of it." And that's how the first issue ends. Definitely draws you in. Very great art, great concept of an idea. And I know there's a intro piece in one of the Image 30th anniversary specials from last year, and I'm going to be trying to get a hold of that. I'm hoping it's not just pages from within this, but it's something different. And here's a couple books I got from the last from Southern Comic Week that I got from what do you call it, an auction. Here's the Recount Preamble from Jonathan Hedrick. I'm not sure who the artist is here, it doesn't show it on the cover, but this is the Goran something or other exclusive cover from Cat 60 Comics, actually. Either this one or the other one is Cat 60. But this is the prequel to the Recount miniseries from Scout, which is by Hedrick. And it gives you the entire backstory of Phil Pontius, who was the vice president who was unjustly ousted by the corrupt incoming regime. And it shows how he receives the mask and his whole life from birth. He was born the same day that Kennedy was assassinated, so his mother died in childbirth because they didn't have enough hospital staff while he was being birthed because they're busy with Kennedy's remains. So it says one politician dies as another is born. And then it shows his whole career in the military, how he's picked by the presidential candidate, and how they go through their entire first term, where he arrests the terrorist who, when he does his terrorist acts, wears the clown masks. And instead of having that terrorist murdered as vice president, when they finally catch him in like an Osama bin Laden siege sort of thing, he says, no, let him live. So then after they are unjustly ousted and they're doing the transfer of power, he receives a package in the mail from him, from prison. Mask is inside of it. And then at the end, his wife, and it has the whole thing how he meets his wife and how his wife has cancer. And the only reason he wanted to be vice president was because his wife had cancer and they could get the best health care as he's vice president. And because they were ousted, they can no longer afford the best medical and the best specialist, so she has passed away. So they show him at her gravesite. You think he's speaking with her, but he's talking with the corrupt Secret Service agent. And he's like, are you with me? And he turns around, he's wearing the mask, looking like the Joker. He's like, I'm with you, sir. He's like, well, let's fucking get it started. So that leads directly into the miniseries. Very cool. And then here we have Bunny Mask, The Hollow Inside, issue number 1. I probably didn't mention this in the last video, but I realized this is another Gorin cover. But this is a homage to Jack Kirby's Hulk number 1. Didn't realize it was an homage as I originally opened it. But I've read the first volume. It's called Bunny Mask, The Chipping of the Teeth. And basically, Bunny Mask was a little girl who was living with someone called the Snitch. And she's dead. The little girl is dead, but her spirit inhabits the monster of the Bunny Mask. And in this issue, you find out that the main character from Volume 1 is dating the girl, because the girl is alive as an adult, even though she died in the cave long ago, but somehow her body is alive in the present, and she's an artist who inexplicably makes bunny mask art. So I'm not sure if she's being possessed over and over again by the spirit of the bunny mask, or the bunny mask spirit is an entity of its own, but you see that the whole time the main character from the first series is meeting up with the bunny mask and watching Bunny Mask do her killings and stuff. And then you meet the Hollow, who's a new character who obviously is from the same world as Bunny Mask. As Bunny Mask eats cancer and crime. This guy, if anyone's missing something inside of him, he can replace the Hollow inside of you and basically makes you disappear. So at the start of this issue, there's some guy walking up the street and you see him get like a fishing hook in his ear and his ear ripped off. And he's like, what the fuck? And then you find out it was the Hollow who did it. And later on in the issue, the Hollow catches back up with him and touches him, and he just turns into dust and disappears. And Bunny Mask, a few pages later, is like, there is some pain I was supposed to take care of here, but there's nothing here. That's odd. Where did it go? And the main character from the first series is ghosting Bee, who's the grown-up version of the little girl. He's ghosting her and doesn't want to get with her romantically anymore. And the main character is living with her friend, and they're like trying to like, hey, tell him that you miss him, tell her that you miss him, tell him that she misses you. Maybe you guys get together. But he comes back home, walks into his bedroom, and as soon as he closes the door, he's in the Bunny Mask cave. And he walks to the cave, and there's a bed there, and Bunny Mask is laying in there. And he lays down next to her and goes, honey, I'm home. So he's in love with Bunny Mask, not with Bee. That is interesting. I'm going to have to get the rest of the miniseries from eBay or something, because I want to see how it ends, and the trade isn't out yet. So back My note on IDW, this is Dead Seas number 5. May never see a number 6. I was watching a YouTube video from people from The Experience, and they get, what do you call it, PDFs for reviewing new comics from several independent publishers. So this week they didn't receive their weekly set of books from IDW directly into their inbox. They had to email to IDW and say, is there anything for this week? Please send it. We want to make this video today. And they sent only Breath of Shadows for this coming week. So what was alluded to in that video is that might be the last ever IDW book ever, would be Breath of Shadows number 4, which is the penultimate issue. This is the penultimate issue. If IDW is really has gone under, that's a bummer, because there's quite a few series upcoming that I've been all in on their originals initiative. If they've fully gone under, that's a bummer, and I hope somebody else can complete the series, or at least IDW will do that, because when Aftershock had to do bankruptcy, at least they're still around. I hope that just because they had to lay off a lot of their employees last week, IDW, that they will be able to complete at least the current series that are going on and whatnot. So we shall see. All right, here is last week of April from the Discount Comic Service. That hurt. Almost cut my finger off. That would not have been good. This is usually a lot easier to open. There we go. I opened it upside down. That's why I'm opening the box upside down. That's probably why it was a little more difficult. Woohoo! Pretty nice stack for week 4. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I think there's quite a few anticipated books here for the last week. One in particular that we'll get into when I get to it. Let's see if I can find Mr. Invoice. No invoice this week, that I can see, at least. Last. I flip through this real quick. Yeah, no invoice. What's this? Stuck to one of these. Yeah, here we go, invoice. Stuck to the cardboard. Alright, that's this week's invoice from Discount Comic Service. This last final week we have 21 items. And let's get into them. We begin the week with Vanish, issue number 6 from Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. Bold up top, but all but one page is drawn by Netho Diaz in issue 6, I've heard. And it's a big letdown compared to issue 5. But I've been all in on the series, really enjoying it, so I'm thinking that I may enjoy it more than a lot of the other people out there in internet land. Here is Black Tape, issue number 3. This is the heavy metal homage. I think this is Godsmack? Goatsnake? Either Godsmack or Goatsnake. I'm not sure. The cover doesn't jump out at me as much as the Black Sabbath or the AC/DC from the first 2 issues. But that's been a good series. I've been enjoying it. Here is Invincible Iron Man, issue number 5 from Jerry Dugan and Juan Frugeri. Step aside, darling. It's Emma Frost there on the cover. This begins a crossover between Jerry Dugan's Invincible Iron Man and Adjectiveless X-Men. Current ongoing X-Men series. Here is Thor, issue number 33. This is written by Torin Grunbook with art by Juan Gideon. Cover by Nick Klein here. Shows more Dr. Doom here. Let's hope he's on more than a couple pages and maybe actually meets Thor in this issue. Here is Detective Comics, Batman Detective Comics, issue 1071. This has art by Ivan Rise and Raphael, written by Ram V, continuing his operatic ongoing story. It's gonna make a pretty fucking badass omnibus in the future. Here is Star Wars: The High Republic. This is the one shot. This popped off big in secondary market. Quest of the Jedi. This one is written by Claudia Gray with art by Fikio Oshio of No One Left to Fight and Robin fame. Fikio Oshio. Yeah, this one popped off really big. This was originally scheduled for right at the beginning of the Dark Horse books, and got pushed back from October to here in April. But that's one of those. And second copy. And here is Star Wars: The High Republic, the one shot. This is cover, I don't know if it's cover B. Yep, it's just cover B. I'm not sure if they show artists. No, they don't show the artist on the back, but the thing I like about the Dark Horse books that aren't the main book is you get a nice cardstock. Goes all the way to the final page. I don't know if there's ads. That's why it's $6. It's no ads all the way through. That's a good value for your $6.99 or $5.99. Let's see the price on this. Yep, $5.99. So that's a good price. It's a 30+ page, all killer, no filler, no ads. Very cool. And then a second copy of cover B. They're both pretty much the same cover almost. Maybe we'll get them together. Definitely a lot more detail in cover B on the faces. And then what they're pretty much doing, a lot of these new High Republic Volume 2 covers have all been the same, just 2 Jedis with lightsabers ablaze on every cover. Here is The Mighty Barbarians, #1. Before superheroes, before it all stood. The Mighty Barbarians, written by Michael Morici from Michael Morici. He did The Plot. He did Barbaric, obviously. Barbaric. This is a new Barbarian. I don't know if it says Barbaric as Barbaric, but it doesn't. Well, Barbarians, the art is by Cafaro. So, new Michael Morici book. And Michael Morici is going to be doing hyperspace stories, I believe, coming up. So that's cool. Here is Scorched, Spawn Scorched, #17. This is the cover. B by Tomaselli. Didn't get the connecting Mark Brooks covers this month. That's pretty cool. This cover's pretty awesome. I love, I think this is Anti-Spawn or something. I love the fucking jack-o'-lantern burning face. It was cool looking. Here is the finale to Strange Academy Finals. This is issue #6. As always, written by Scotty Young with art by Humberto Ramos. 24 issues strong. This is cover D, the trading card variant by Dustin Weaver. And this trading card is for German Aguilar. And I believe in the last couple pages of this, you are introduced to the new freshman class. So I'm not sure how long it's going to be before volume 3 or volume 2, #1 of the new version of Strange Academy, but I hope Humberto comes back for it, and if Scotty's done, get a writer who's as equally up to the task as Scotty was. And I haven't read a word. I think I have read issues 1 and 2 long ago when the first printings came out, reprintings, extra printings came out for Strange Academy. But I do have every issue of the series, and I will, now that it's fully done, I have them all ready to bring with me to work or whatever, and read them all in a big chunk, and hopefully it's as good as the hype says it is. Here is new this week, Alien #1 from 20th Century Studios and Marvel. This is the variant edition, cover B. I believe this is I know the other cover is by, this is the Not, somebody. It's always easier just to look, I guess. Interesting paper choice in here. It's a nice paper from Marvel, for a change. This cover is by Declan Shalvey. Doy. This series is written by Declan Shalvey with art by Andrea. Written by Declan Shalvey with art by Andrea Brocardo. This is cover B by Declan Shalvey. It's a well done for Marvel. Nice cover stock, and usually the covers will have this paper stock on the cover, not inside the book. But nice paper stock for at least issue 1 of Alien. Looking forward to seeing how that new run kicks off. Philip Kennedy Johnson off the book, and Declan Shalvey taking over the writing for issue number 1 of volume 3. Here is Grimm, issue number 10. I believe this is the FOC reveal cover by Javier Rodriguez. On the hot covers shows I've been watching, people hated it. I think it's pretty good. Hated the cover, that is. I'm enjoying the series. Here's Strange Academy Finals cover B. I'm presuming. Yep, this is just a Ramos variant. Ramos variant B for Strange Academy Finals issue 6. Final issue of that run. Alien issue number 1. This is cover C from Alex Maleev. Awesome. I love the baby mobile. I love the alien. I know there's a version of this, but other than the 20th Century Fox isn't as annoying on this cover as it is on the Shelby variant, but they should end this after like a couple issues. I think that's silly. They have it on Predator and Planet of the Apes and now Alien. Here is Something is Killing the Children, the Slaughter Pack, Volume 5 for, I believe this reprints issues 21 to 25, the first arc of the New Mexico storyline. Hey, they gave me a bag and board for it. That's interesting. I don't know how many use this bag and board for anymore because it's all blown up. I guess I'm gonna put a different trade in there in the future. Oh, I see it's taped over. It's not a real bag and board. Okay, interesting. So let's see. These are going back to David Mack. These comics are sliding. I gotta move them elsewhere. I'm gonna go further over so they don't slide off the table. We're returning to David Mack for Volume 5. Volume 1, 2, and 3 were all David Mack variants. And then Volume 4, which was the, what would you call it? The Erica Slaughter origin arc. Yeah. I had a different artist. I can't recall at the top of the moment. Ouchie, these all got a big cut in the top of every cover. That's a bummer. Here's a little cardboard outlier that is inside of the poly wrap. These are all poly bagged together. So here's issue 21. I don't remember what this town is called. What do you guys? Tribulation, New Mexico. This arc began here. This is a cool cover. Here is 22. Got myself new bags and boards at the LCS last week because I knew I was going to be getting this in this box. There's 23. Whew. There's 24. That's beautiful. I'm surprised that wasn't on 25. That's beautiful. And 25. Oh, no way. Connect. Not really. Oh, I see. I wouldn't say it connects, but there's definitely, I see what they did there. Cutter taking the lead and Erica swapping spots. Excellent. Love it. The thing I love about these Slaughter Pack issues is they're their own cover A's. But I believe there are incentives to that are directly from Mac's website or whatever, and then also incentives, just alternate covers too. I believe that's Cutter. That's cool. These are I'd say I really enjoyed the first set of Mac reprints, and then second set was okay. Third set was a step up. I liked whoever did the art on the Erica backup story, and I definitely liked they did one of these House of Slaughter Volume 1 Slaughter Pack, and I love those covers. They're really good covers, and now these are a step up from the middle arc. Better David Mack action. Here is Grimm, issue number 10. This is the Florentino Reaper variant. Cover B for issue 10. Florentino Reaper variant. Grimm returns with arc number 3 in July, as well as Something is Killing the Children returning with arc 6. I guess arc 7. It would be arc 7 because the fourth arc is the flashback. So arc 7, concluding the Tribulation New Mexico storyline, comes to us in July. Here is Hulk, issue number 14, the Scotty Young variant. I picked this one sight unseen from the listed covers that I could pick, because I believe they showed cover B and it didn't look too cool. This must be C. I forgot to have it on the front of these books. This is actually cover E, Scotty Young. It says, "Bruh, we plan on getting this body back, so I'm gonna need you to drink a lot more water." I don't know if that's supposed to be Groot. Well, what the heck is going on with... is that Titan? Is that Groot? I'm not sure what's going on here. We should find out. It's interesting to see how that... This is the conclusion to Donny Cates' aborted run on Hulk. It began with Smashtronaut and then continued into the Banner and Thor... Thor and Hulk Banner of War story, which is my favorite part of this arc. And then the final arc was... Hulk Planet, which Donnie jumped out of after the first part and then co-wrote a couple other parts, and then this was completely drawn by, that whole arc was at least completely drawn by our friend Ryan Otley, who also finished the writing for that series. Two more for this video. The finale to Plush from Doug Wagner and Daniel Hilliard, with colors by Rico Renzi, lettered by Ed Jukeshire. This is the conclusion to the third part of the Material trilogy now, we should call it, Vinyl. Preceded by Plastic, and now we have Plush. Doug Wagner has a new miniseries coming in June from Image Comics. Doug Wagner is now a auto add to my pull list. And the final book for the final week of April is Blue Book, issue number 3 of 5 from James Tinian, Michael Avon Oeming, and Dichi Bidikar. Doesn't say who the backup is by in this issue, but I believe this is just A by Oeming. Cover A by Michael Avon Oeming. Alright, thank you for coming with me today. I should have some FOC books, possibly up to 2 packs of FOC books from Economics and Comics coming before the next video to go along with my first week books from May from Discount Comic Book Service. So all of you take care out there in the community, and say a little prayer for me for IDW, that they don't go totally out of business and I can finish these series that I have invested my time into so far. So everybody, take care out there in the community. We'll see you in the next one.